Hi Noteboard Gamers and welcome back to Noteboard Gaming. I'm your host, I'm Mark. Now in today's video we are going to be doing an unboxing, and what am I unboxing? Well, as you can see from this behemoth of a box next to me, it's going to be Perseverance, Castaway Chronicles, episodes 1 and 2 from Mindclash Games. Now, this is a game that's designed by Victor Peter, Richard Amann, David Turksey, Thomas van Ginst, and Wolf Plank. Apologies if I got your name, mispronounced your names there. And of course, it's from Mindclash Games. Now, I have practically everything from Mindclash Games. I have Tricerion, I have Cerebria, I have obviously Perseverance, I have Anachrony, Infinity Box, I don't know if you can see that up there. Obviously, I've got Voidfall coming as well. I love Mindclash Games. They produce some of the best crunchy games out there. A real joy to play, fantastic components, really good gameplay. Now, when I was in Essen in October last year, I played a couple of rounds of episode 2 of Perseverance, and I absolutely loved it. I thought it was fantastic, but I haven't played episode 1. So I'm really looking forward to getting this to the table. But as you can see from the box itself, it's absolutely huge because it's a Mindclash Games production, and therefore they put as much in this box as they absolutely can. So I thought what I'd do is I would take you through exactly what you get in the deluxe version of Perseverance Castaway Chronicles from Mindclash Games. Now, it's an unboxing, but I will caveat this by saying I did look at the instructions. So it arrived yesterday. I've opened it to read the instructions, but I haven't looked at any of the components that are in there. I just wanted to read the instructions last night. So I read the instructions for episode 1. I read the solo instructions for episode 1, and I can't wait to get it to the table. So without much further ado, let me show you what you get inside your massive box of Perseverance Castaway Chronicles episode 1 and 2 from Mindclash Games. Okay, so here we are, and you can see this massive box in front of me. It's a couple of handspans across by maybe 1/2 up, and also it's kind of, well, this is slightly larger than it closes because I obviously haven't unpacked some of the components in there as well. But as you can see, it's about a handspan across, and we got the lovely bottom on there as well. So when you get your copy of Perseverance, on the back of it, if you've got the deluxe version, there's going to be this sheet which tells you everything that you've got. 8 leader miniatures, 64 soldier miniatures, 64 dinosaur miniatures. If you haven't got the miniature version, it's okay. There are cardboard standees in there. There's a Chronicle expansion which allows you to play episodes 1 and 2 as a campaign. You play 2 games of episode 1 and then 2 games of episode 2. It's mentioned this is the deluxe edition. There's a Nora's Journal, an art and story book, which tells you some of the background there. There's a Neoprene dice tray. There is a metal painted temple miniature. There's 20 painted metal tracker tokens in 5 different designs. There's 30 squishy glowberries. There's 113 structure miniatures, 38 custom dice. There's the modular tray system, and of course there's the dedicated solo variant, which of course David Turksey was very involved in. Here we go, 1 to 4 players. Episode 1 90 minutes, episode 2 120 minutes, age 15 plus. So there we go, that's kind of what you're going to get in your deluxe version of Perseverance Castaway Chronicles from Mindclash Games. Now, there was a version with washed minis for this. I didn't get that. I'm kind of kicking myself that I didn't get the washed minis version. So these are the kind of unwashed minis that you get in there. So let's take the lid off the box for starters. Nice box fart, and I just want to show you the inside of the box. We've got some dinosaur claw marks inside the box. Now, as I say, I did open the kind of manual pack last night to have a look at the manual. So what do we have? We have, here we go. I'll come to those a little bit later. We have the main rulebook itself. Now, this rulebook is some kind of 31 pages long. There's some appendices on there, but it does give you the rules for kind of episode 1 and mainly episode 1 in this one. That's right, episode 1, but that gives you everything. If you know episode 1, you got most of the way there on episode 2. There are some obvious changes in there. Now, I read through this rulebook last night, and it's a really well laid out rulebook. I'm a little bit of an advantage because, of course, as I say, I played it at Essen last year, so I know a little bit about how the game plays, but I only played episode 2. Episode 1 is slightly different, but you can see that there is, There's quite a lot to read here, but it's all really well laid out. Lots of good examples, lots of pictures, different rules for 2 players, for 3 to 4 players, and of course you've got the separate solo rulebook, which we'll look at in a bit. But as you can see, it's all very well laid out, as you would imagine from a Mindclash Games game. If you've got any Mindclash games, you'll know that certainly Anachrony and Perseverance, the rulebook is very, very, very well laid out. Same with Cerebria. Trickerion, slightly different if you're playing it solo. You've got to wade through about 3 or 4 different rulebooks for that. So Trickerion takes a little bit more. But coming back to Perseverance, I really like this rulebook. It makes it very, very easy to understand. So that's the main rulebook, and it says start here. What you also have as well is the rulebook for episode 2, and it says play after episode 1. So this rulebook has been written to provide everything you need to learn Perseverance episode 2 from scratch. However, since episode 2 is a natural progression of the Perseverance storyline, both thematically and mechanically, we strongly recommend learning and playing episode 1 first. If you do, you will already be familiar with the following the game concepts that are largely the same in episode 2. So here we go. There's the episode 2 rulebook, and as it says, it's teaching it from scratch. It's about 35 pages long, but again, some appendices at the back there. And again, I've not read through episode 2 yet, although I have played it at Essen. But it looks a really, really well laid out rulebook. And if you know episode 1, you're going to follow on from that. So there's episode 1 and 2 rulebook there. We also have the solo rulebook as well here. So in the solo rules, in the solo game, you're going to be playing against the dissenters, and these are Narek and Camilla, and they're going to kind of work against you, if you like. They don't agree with the leadership that's happening on this island, where your ship has crashed and you're trying to survive and also defend your settlement from dinosaurs that are encroaching. But you've got dissenters here that you're going to be playing against, and they're going to make it hard for you in the game. Get decision trees in this. It's a complex game. There are decision trees in this that you have to follow. I don't know if there's any solo reference guides in there. We'll see as we go through the box. But again, I read through this as well last night, and the rules seem relatively straightforward. There will be a bit of referencing as you do that. The other thing to show you is then the Castaway Chronicles rulebook. So this is the Chronicle expansion rulebook. As I said, this allows you to play through episodes 1 and 2 as a campaign. You will play 2 games of episode 1 and 2 games of episode 2. There's some scoring sheets apparently within this package, and log sheets that allow you to keep track of that. Not really read through this. I've had a quick brief glance through this, but I'll not be going into kind of playing a campaign game of it until I've played both episodes 1 and 2 a number of times. Now, if you've got the Anachrony Infinity box, you know the value of this. This is the Perseverance tray manual. It tells you what goes where out of all the components, in what tray they go, and where those trays should go. Really, really important document. And I know when they had a similar thing in the Anachrony Infinity box, it was an absolute godsend in sorting. And there you go. You can see how you lay everything in terms of getting everything back in the box, so that fit is nice and snug. Now, as I mentioned with the sheet that you get on the back, because it's the deluxe edition, we get the Castaway Chronicles Memoirs of a Survivor. And this tells you some of the story about how the ship kind of crashed on the island, what they've done to survive so far. And it's just a really nice little addition to it, which just immerses you in the theme a little bit more. It's kind of from the perspective of Nora Cheney, so it's one survivor. And they're kind of following you. You're going to read that through and get a little bit more backstory. What else do we have here? We have the Dissenters board. So the board is 2-sided. This is episode 1 here, and you can tell that by this icon up here. In the blue there is episode 1, and if it's got purple, it's episode 2. So it's slightly different how they work on there. Now, if you're going to play a 2-player game, you can use the Dissenters and use a slightly cut down version of the full Dissenters there. But yeah, there you have the Dissenters board that we'll use as part of the solo game. You've got assembly scoring here. One of the end of certain points in the game, and certain phases in the game, you're going to carry out assembly scoring here. And there we go. We've got a 2-player board and a 3 to 4-player board on there. Slightly different for the solo game, but that's kind of some ongoing scoring you can take. You've got your Dino attack combat rewards. So when the dinos attack, you will follow this to find out what kind of rewards you can get when you defeat dinosaurs. So that's a really good visual there. We also have an outpost offer. I don't know what that is at this stage. That's obviously for episode 2. So that will be certain tiles that were placed on there as the offer for the outpost, some stuff you can buy. There's some baggies here, of course. Then we have these punch boards. So this, I believe, is the dial for acceptance, I want to say, for the solo game. We have some of the leader standees just here, some additional vote trackers here, and then this marker, I can't remember what it's called, but you do that when you're doing use that when you're doing patrols. So there we go, that's some stuff there. Of course, there's going to be, I should imagine, some of the little kind of divot things that go in there that allow you to use those dials. This is exciting. This is the Perseverance Kickstarter dice tray. Who doesn't love a neoprene dice tray? And here we go. We've got the Perseverance one here, which I can do a number of ways. You can have it one side or another, I believe, yeah. So let's have a look. Yeah, one. And do this one, two. I love a dice tray. You know, if you've seen Chip Theory Games dice trays, you know that they're really, really good. And I do love a neoprene dice tray because this game is dice drafting. So you're going to roll dice and then you're going to draft certain dice throughout the game. So it's double-sided. You can have it that way, or you could put it the other way, I suppose, depending on which episode you're playing or which picture you like the most. That's a really nice kind of Kickstarter edition, a neoprene dice tray. Okay. Now we're going to get into the trays themselves. Let's start here. Look at these wonderful game trays. Absolutely fantastic. So over here, we have some walls as part of your defences. So what you're going to be doing, these are in different colours because, of course, you have, there are 4 players and therefore 4 player colours. These are walls that you'll put as part of your defence, and some settlements as well, because you will be laying down settlements, and settlements allow you to get settlement rewards and also allow certain actions in the game to happen as well. And certainly in terms of your scoring, you're going to have to work out how much population and presence you have, and settlements are really useful for that. So we've got those there, green and red, green and red and blue and yellow. We've obviously got some rings here for putting the miniatures on, if you're going to be using the miniatures. In all of the colours, there's red, blue and green in there. And then in here, we have the yellow ones as well as the squishy berries that they mentioned. And here we go, let's just have a look at these squishy berries. So they are truly squishy berries. There you go, you can crush them nicely in your fingers. Really, really feel nice. Smell like plastic squishy berries, to tell you the truth. They're a nice little addition, and I think again they potentially are Kickstarter exclusive. Nice and rubber, so they will bounce everywhere if you drop them. So my advice is, unlike me just now, try not to drop them. So that's kind of the first 4 trays, and we'll know obviously once you've gone through the manual on how to put the trays away, exactly how what goes in there, because there are, I should imagine, quite a few punch boards to look at. So there we go, it's those trays, and it's there. So then we take off the next layer. We have some miniatures. Look at these, okay? Don't know the names of the dinosaurs. I do apologise in advance if you're expecting me to know what they are. I don't know the names of them, but here we go. You can see we have these dinos here. So let's look at the detailing on that. Yeah, shame I didn't go for the wash. I really wish I'd have spent the extra cash and gone for the wash on these, because I know I won't get around to painting them. I have a list of miniatures to paint as long as your arm. But really nice looking miniatures there for these particular dinosaurs. There are various dinos in the game. We have here the leader miniatures, I believe. So let's just take a look at one of these. So these are your kind of main characters that you can use in the game. Oh, maybe they're soldiers. These could be soldiers. So these could be light and heavy soldiers, actually. So these could well be the light soldiers here. And you can see that the detailing is, if you're a miniature painter and you've not gone for the wash version, you're probably going to enjoy painting these miniatures. Yeah, they're all the same. So I believe they're going to be the light soldiers. And then I bet these in the darker colour, perchance, could well be the heavy soldiers. There we go. It could be the other way around, not too sure, but you can see that these have got shields. They've got like pickaxes on there as well. Let's see if that picks it up a little bit better. And the detailing's not too bad. Again, you can get some nice kind of paneling on the armor there. Nice detailing on the shields. So that's good. Yeah, really nice looking miniatures, as you'd expect from Mindclash Games. The the quality of the stuff is fantastic. Here we have some more miniatures. And these are two different types of dinosaurs. So we have these guys here. Let's have a look which way around. Okay. So you can see there, these got the light blue base on them. And what's going to happen is throughout the game, you're going to be placing dinosaurs on the board. And then when they fill up all the spaces on the board, they're going to attack. And you've got to try and have enough soldiers and leaders in place and walls to defend against those attacks. So it's an oncoming threat, and you can kind of see what threats are coming and which kind of area is building up for threat. And you can see this other dinosaur here. Yeah, really, really nice looking miniatures. I think they put a lot of time into kind of developing these miniatures. I'm really pleased with those. Okay, another white sheet. Lift off here. What we got here? Okay, a couple of boards here. Right, aha, okay. So these are your leader miniatures up here. So we have the 4 leaders up here. So let's take one of these out. And as I was looking through the rule book, some nice representation there of female, of different ethnicities, etc. So some nice representation. Doesn't look like it's a game purely full of kind of middle-aged white men who are leading the charge for you there. So these will act as your potential leaders here. We have, oops, there you go. We have this. So this again is from the deluxe version. It's not metal, it's like ceramic. And this is the painted temple. And I think you use this on episode 2. And you'll place that on the board at some point. That's got some really nice detail on there. Looks very Incan or Mayan, if you like, with the steps leading up. Nice colours, and then like moss or grass growing on there. So that's absolutely wonderful. Here we have, I think you use this in episode 2. It's some kind of tracker token that you're going to be using. It looks like it's got a dinosaur skull on a staff and some ribbons coming off it on some rocks there. And then here, if you're going to go with the standee version, you have all of the various coloured stands for your standees. Now, I like the miniatures. The reason I went for the miniatures is I want to play the miniatures version of this game. But if you prefer standees, you can see you get lots and lots of bases for all of the standees that you're going to use. So what's this next one here? Aha. So here we have the leaderboards. Yeah, so you can see we've got Keone. There we go. We've got Jack. We have Adelita. And we have Phoenix. And as you can see, they are, fully representing right across the spectrum there, and each leader has slightly different abilities on there. I believe there are 2 sides to the board. There's an A and a B side, yeah. So there's an A and a B side, dual layered, so only the B side has got the recesses in there, the A doesn't. The A side, they don't have the abilities on there, but when you're familiar with the game and you start using the B side, that's when they've got these special abilities. And it makes sense that you'll have the recesses on the B side of the board, because I should imagine you'll only play it a couple of times with the A side, and then you'll be flipping over to the leaders with abilities. So they're really nice as well. What have we got here? Oh, my God. Okay. So they're the kind of divotty things for the dials, so that's okay. We got these. Don't know what these are. Okay, look like some kind of pillar or post. There we go. So you can see those. Houses maybe. You can see they're kind of houses or huts, should I say, built on the top of this kind of weird rocky crop, etc. Don't know what else to call it. Some more rings there. You have various cubes of your colour. These are going to be used for influence, because there are officers in the game, and your aim, one of your aims in the game is to try and influence these officers in the game. And we have, I wonder if these are the leader miniatures here. So we have some more miniatures just here. Apologies, I don't know what is what totally at this stage, but as you can see, there's lots of different minis with the game. Utterly stunning so far, isn't it? And it's truly wonderful to look at. And that's one of the things I love about Mindclash Games, is just how much effort not only goes into the game, but goes into the production of the game as well. Ha! Another white sheet. Some more miniatures. So let's have a look at these first. So here we have, oh, that's a deep box. Okay, I think these are all the same. I think these are velociraptors. So velociraptors have an effect in the dino attack phase where they will always kill one of your soldiers. Even if you defeat them, they will kill one of your soldiers. And look at those. Let's see if we can get it up close. That's about as close as it's going to go. But yeah, nice there. And there's quite a few of those velociraptors. We have some more light and heavy soldiers there. That's a nice look at those. Whew. Quite a lot to go at in here, guys. And then we have this box as well. So let's just have a quick look at this. I'll just move the main box out of the way before we get to those. We have some pads here. So as I say, I think these pads are used in the Chronicles expansion. So that you can link things together. Or there's some pads and also player aids there as well, which tell you through the turn sequence, which take you through dino combat. I wonder if there is a solo player aid in here. I really hope so. Let me just take the cellophane off. If not, it's not the end of the world. The book is really, really well written. So we have, turn sequences, blue and purple for the both the episodes. What happens on a dino attack and breach there? What happens in the assembly? And I wonder if these are. Yeah, here we go. Some more turn sequences there for the various players. So some nice player aids there. I'm not too sure if they are solo focused, so maybe you'll just have to refer back to the book. Then we have some chunky dice. So it is a dice drafting game. You have some neutral dice. Is that right? No. Here we have a threat dice and dino attack dice, some dice for followers, etc. I think these are set when you set traps and what have you. So they're nice and chunky, those dice. Now let's have a look at some of these other dice down here as well. So here we can see various packs. You've got player dice, which are in the colours, of course, and then you have neutral dice. And when you roll the dice, what you will do is you will draft these for certain actions on the board, depending on what what episode you're playing. And these will give you certain functions on the board and certain things like building or gathering, etc. And if you've got your player dice on there, they give you additional bonuses for using your player dice. But you don't start with all your player dice. You have to upgrade the neutral dice to player dice at some point. What have we got here? Oh, we've got the metal components here. So this is good. So again, Kickstarter exclusive. We have these metal tokens just here. I think they're for tracking what's happening on your patrols, basically, whether you've completed a particular part of the patrol or not. We have these, I think they're called Stronghold, these, can't remember exactly. So these would fit into the player board. Let me just show you where. So obviously there are cardboard punch outs for people that don't have the metal component upgrade. But here we go, you would see that they would fit just there in the board, and you would move that up as you increase your, I think it's Stronghold, that I could well be wrong. Here we have a couple of others. That could be Stronghold, one could be Valor. That's Vote, basically. So these are really nice. There's 4 of each. Really nice and weighty, those. And that's the metal components. Right, next up is the cards, and we have a few decks of cards here. We got these smaller cards here. So let's just take the paper off these, the cellophane off these, and show you what's inside. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. So I want to say these are called challenge cards. I could be wrong. They're in various colours, and you're going to draw these off at a certain point and reap the rewards that are on there. And you'll shuffle them up and take them out. So here you would get one of the squishy berries and one of whatever that is. There you would get some story tokens on that. You would get food and scrap there, and these give you certain rewards. One of the main aims of the game is your scoring is how many followers you get, basically. So the aim of the game is through the dials that you have is to try and increase the number of followers that you get and try and complete the game with most followers. Okay. Then we have these cards here. Let's see what's in these. Here we go. So these look like, I think some of these are your patrol cards. Yep, these are the patrol cards. So these are one of the actions you can take, and you have to complete the controls. This allows you to put down 2 soldiers, either light or heavy. And then if you complete that, you can then get a story token and 3 followers. Some of them have, I believe, 2 patrol actions on there. There we go. So this is what this the little round discs are for here. You would, when you complete a particular patrol, you would mark that as complete. Then you would transition, roll the threat dice, and that can kill your soldiers. And then you can do the next part of that patrol. You can only have 1 patrol in play at any one time, but let's just have a look at the artwork on here. Party's over. There we go. There's almost a scene from Jurassic Park right off the bat there. Somebody hiding behind this kind of counter while there is a velociraptor after him. No light without shadow. Knock, knock down. So you get 2 of those cards. Then you would transition, potentially lose if you don't win the threat roll. 2 more cards. You get to put a wall down there. You get to put 3 soldiers down if you've got access to 3 soldiers. So yeah, some really nice artwork on there. The artwork flows nicely throughout every component that I've seen as well there. So that's the patrol cards. Then we have various other cards. Now you'll forgive me if I don't totally know the names of any of these cards. What we have here is a Temple Adventure. Again, kind of looking like the patrol type cards on here. Trial of Strength, Trial of Proficiency, Trial of Wit, Trial of Momentum, Trial of Leadership, Trial of Equilibrium. So that's the Temple Adventure cards. We have Canyon Adventure cards, so I should imagine you pull these out at various points in the game. So here we go. I bet I can ride that. Look at this artwork. It is just stunning. It's just really, really, really nice artwork. And that's that. These are your kind of, for the solo game. So there are 4 kind of difficulties, if you like, on solo, but then you can adjust those as well with some other stuff you're doing there. Pioneer, Victory Conditions, Squatter, Trailblazer and Conqueror. And these spaces here are effectively when you lose settlements in the game, when the dinos breach and you lose settlements, you would put them on there. If on you're playing as a pioneer, you lose 5 settlements, that's it, that's game over. And there you go, you got victory conditions, so that says lose 5 settlements, it's game over. Victory conditions, you need 70 followers and 50 acceptance, I believe it is. And you can see it kind of, there's a squatter, slightly lower. There we go. We have the Trailblazer, you need 85 and 60 acceptance and only lose 4 settlements. And then Conqueror, you need 100 followers, 65 acceptance and only lose 3 settlements. So that's those. We've got Plains Adventure cards, which is these here, Saving the Captain, Tamarind Nest, Bird is the word, Berry Rush, Saving the Raptor Baby, Comrade in Distress, Shield Head Down, etc. And you've got these cards here. So again, forgive me, I don't really know what these are. Yeah, so these are for the solo game. So these are the solo cards. You're going to pull these out, and these are going to tell you, you'd have 3 out in a row, and then you'd flip the top one over, and it'd tell you which cards to action for both of the dissenters that you're using in the solo game. Their primary action, their secondary action, and then also a decision tree on what should be used there as well. So those are the solo cards there. Then we shall have a look at this deck here. So as you delve into this really thick deck of cards, there is no kind of opening strip on this, so it's just opening it up. And again, let's see if I can work out what these are. So these are purple. These are obviously for episode 2. Yeah, no idea what they are. Nope, no idea what these are. These are for episode 2 though, because they're purple. Then we have the episode 1 equivalents here, because they're blue. Again, don't know what these are for, whether these are for the main game or for the Castaway Chronicles, etc., the campaign style game. So they're for episode 1. So this here is a different way of tracking your threat. You see, there are alternate modes in the rulebook. If you don't like dice play, you can use deterministic play, and they've come up with mechanisms to introduce deterministic play in there. So you would use this as your threat tracker, essentially, to stop you rolling a threat die. So if you don't like dice play, it's a really, really cool thing that they've done there. We have some more cards here. So what are these? Again, cards that I don't know, but they're blue. Oh, they're for both episodes. They've got both icons on the back of those. You can see really nice card stock as well. Really, really nice on that linen finish on there. We have some Plains cards. 2 to 6, 2 to 6, 2 to 6, 2 to 6, whatever that means, do not know. Here we go, so some Plains cards here, counter attack. Again, don't know what these are for, but it's got that wonderful colour scheme and artwork flowing through it, which is really nice. We have solo cards for episode 2. So as you can see, so we've got the solo scoring there, same as before. Different victory conditions in episode 2. As I mentioned in episode 1, it was about not losing settlements. Episode 2 is different. Here. It tells you the victory conditions and also the solo cards that you're going to. Oh, these are all victory conditions. So yeah, rampages look like they're important there for episode 2. And what do we have next? We have these. So these are the episode 2 solo cards. Work similarly, as you imagine, to the ones in episode 1. Primary action, secondary action, telling you which card you're going to use in the stack for which of the dissenters. And as you can see, that changes around on each one. And there's your kind of priority tree for which dice you're going to draft for the dissenters. And then we have some canyon cards here. So again, don't truly know what these are for at this stage. As I say, I read the rule book. I can't remember seeing these, but that's not an issue because I've only read it once. So that's kind of everything you get in the game trays. And as you can see, that is utterly, utterly wonderful. What we're going to do now is I'm going to show you the boards and what you get in the punch outs there as well. Okay, so you can see still in the box, I've got various punch outs and the boards themselves. So let's have a look. Oh, move the box away. Move the punch outs out of the way and have a look at the boards that we get. So we'll start with the episode 1 board. So the boards are double-sided depending on whether you're playing 2 players or 3 to 4 players. Also, if you're playing a solo game, you're going to be using the setup for a 3 to 4 player game. All right, there we go. It's 2 to 3 or 4 players. So we'll show you the 2 to 3 side. And here you can see the episode 1 board. So down here you have your various zones: sustenance, military, expansion and protection. What they produce: food, soldiers, story or scrap. Here's where you're going to draft all your dice on here and take various actions. And here's where you're going to place the dinos. Here's where you're going to place the wars, and here's where you're going to place your soldiers to try and defend from those dinos. And that's the aim of the game, obviously, is to try and maximize your settlement, get the resources, get the right number of followers so your leader will become successful and defend from the dinos there. So that's the episode 1 board. Let's have a look at episode 2 board now. And you'll notice at the top of the episode 2 board that it's different to what you saw on episode 1. So let me show I'm on the right way. Yeah, 2 to 3. Oops. Sorry, not my camera then. And here you can see we still have these community area down here, as you can see, but at the top you have a different, whole different layout, because you're going to place hexes on there and you're going to start moving your settlements out into the wild. So episode 1 you're kind of defending, episode 2 you're expanding out there, you're going out for expansion and you're going to want to get out there and place your settlements out there, flip those tiles over and still defend yourself from the dinos. So it's great that it's got 2 separate boards as well. So let's have a look at this next. What do we have here? Don't know what this is. Okay, so just quickly with a knife, and then we'll take this off and see what we've got here. So here we have, oh, do not know. What is this? It is, wow, okay. So these are your player boards for episode 2. So we saw the episode ones earlier, the smaller ones. Here we have Phoenix, Adelita, Keone and Jack, and you can see these are different from the episode 1 ones. The episode 1 ones are far smaller. Episode 2 far more on there. You've still got the same kind of indents in there to put your tokens on. But down here you've got chief of security, a chief mate, a captain, a chief steward, and a chief engineer. So you've got your various officers down there that you're going to be working with. Nice dual layered boards with wonderful artwork on there. All of that becomes apparent as you're playing the game, what all those icons mean. So that's lovely. Okay, let's now have a look at these punch outs here. Okay, so we'll take a look at these punch boards. Whew. So much content, so much content. Yes, Mindclash Games games aren't necessarily cheap, but you can see that there is so much that you get here. So what do we have? We have, of course, if you've not got the miniatures versions, we have all of the standees that you need for the various dinosaurs and all the tokens on there. So I've got the squishy berries, but you can see you've got squishy berries there. You've got your various tokens down here for parts in the game as well. So there's one of those, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those particular boards. Slightly different layout on them, only ever so slightly in terms of what's on there, but you can see a theme running through it. The story markers, the scrap, the food, etc. They are the various tokens you will use in the game. Then down here, these, I mentioned you get the kind of officers that you have to use throughout the game, that you'll be using throughout the game. These are the officers here, so these are based on card here. You have, oh God knows what. These are obviously for episode 2. This must be for the outpost here. Some various other tokens. Again, look at the artwork on that. More officers down here. Okay, so that's your officers. On this board, it's your officers for episode 1. On this board, it's your officers for episode 2. These are your episode 2 hex tiles. And down here are your danger zones. On episode 1, when you first start and the dinos are coming down, you block off the last row until the first dino attack, and then you pull that off. So that means the dinos are potentially going to attack sooner in episode in your first kind of couple of rounds of episode 1. Again, more down here. You've got the captain. Captain's gone missing, I believe, in episode 1. You got part of the thing is he comes back as part of episode 2. I believe that's the case. Anyway, various other cards. I think these are your achievement cards down here. So you get various achievements from it, and again, lots of wonderful artwork on those tokens. And finally, some more of the cards there. Then here we have our dials. So you've got 4 dials for tracking your number of followers as you play the game. And then if you've not got the metal tokens, here's the various tokens for your stronghold and your valor, whatever it's called, etc. And your votes, etc. that you'll use on the player boards. Of course, I've got the metal tokens, so some of these will be surplus to requirements. Wow, that's everything you get in the box of Perseverance Castaway Chronicles episodes 1 and 2. What a lot of content there is there. Wow. It's going to take me some time to sort everything, to pack it all away, to make sure I got everything in the right way, to understand what components I need to save and what components I don't need to use, because I've got the metal components, the upgraded components, etc. And I'm going to love every second of it. I remember when the Neoprene Infinity box arrived and how much I enjoyed just kind of taking everything out and putting it all back and getting it all looking neat. It makes setting the game up really, really, really easy and pleasurable as well. Now, there's a lot here, and it's going to take me a while to obviously play my first couple of games. And I'm going to have to play episode 1 and then episode 2 a number of times till I get a full flow of the game, because guaranteed it's a Mindclash game. It's not going to be easy to try and win this game, but it's a challenge I'm looking forward to. I think this is an absolutely stunning package. It's all spread out of my gaming table at the moment, and I can't wait to actually delve into this and start putting it all away and really just marveling at the components a little bit more. But as you can see, it's a wonderful, wonderful package. So if you have backed Perseverance Castaway Chronicles episode 1 and 2 from Mindclash Games and you're waiting for it to come through, you've got a joyous experience ahead of you, taking everything out, marveling at everything, putting it all away, reading the really well-written rule books, and then learning to play the game. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, and certainly from my one game that I had at Essen, or one partial game I had at Essen for episode 2, I think it's an absolute corker of a game. So I'm really looking forward to delving into this a lot more. So I will have a review on this in the coming months. I can't promise it's going to be in the next few weeks, because I think there's a lot to get to grips here with me to fully understand the game. Looks like Divitux has designed a cracking solo mode for it. Reading through the solo rule book, really nice, chunky solo mode. Lots to get to grips with, but that's not a problem. If you understand Mindclash Games, you know that you're in this for a journey as well as the destination. Quality of the components, utterly stunning. Those miniatures are absolutely fantastic. Kicking myself for not getting the wash minis, but that's okay. And of course, I've got a neoprene dice tray as well, which is always good fun. More neoprene dice trays, the better. So thank you very much for joining me on this unboxing journey of Perseverance Castaway Chronicles from Mindclash Games. It's been an utter joy to open this. Thank you, Mindclash, for creating such a wonderful game. I knew as soon as I saw it, I needed to back it, and I was really happy yesterday when my Kickstarter version came through. So thank you for joining me on this journey. My name's Mark. This is Not Board Gaming. Always B-O-R-D, B-O-R-E-D. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Check out our other videos. And one final thought. If you can't find anyone else to play with, there's nothing wrong with playing with yourselves. Until next time, bye-bye.